Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Team Venom Wrestling podcast. I'm your host, Rory Bailey, joined by the delicious Connor Franks. Connor, how's it going, man?
Oh, I am feeling delicious, my
Very
friend.
good.
Uh, I'm brilliant. I'm good. We're talking wrestling. Always fun. That's why we're here. Love that shit.
Indeed.
How are you?
I'm awesome, man. Yeah, just awesome. But
Yep.
speaking of awesome and the lack thereof, of before we get into this week's topic, for those that have clicked on the link here, is obviously how we would build up to WrestleMania 41 and some of the things that we'd like to see there. One of the things that's recently happened was AEW Full Gear, headlined by Moxley versus Pockets, Orange Cassidy for the AEW Championship. It's one of those things where people were genuinely questioning why that was even a pay-per-view main event of Orange Cassidy, the guy who puts his hands in pockets and lazily kicks at people's shins, versus John Moxley, the guy who we've seen stick about 87 candles in his forehead. So, Connor, did you watch it, and what was your thoughts?
No, I didn't watch it. And my thoughts, yeah.
Well, now we've got the AEW portion of the podcast out of the way. That's one of the things, isn't it? Like we don't really talk a lot of AEW, and Full Gear is a shining example of why we don't talk a lot of AEW.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, I will always say wrestling is like the circus. You might come for the you might hate you hate the gymnasts, but you come for the elephants, whatever. There's
yeah,
something for everybody, different strokes for different folks. I've said it since but a while. I cannot get into AEW. I can't give you the reason I can't
I
because I
mean,
don't know. It's just not for me. And every time I've tried to watch it, it's painful. Go ahead, call me WWE fanboy. I'm sure there's people in there who want to do that. But yeah, it's
yeah, but
not my cup of tea.
the thing is, though, we've both been fans of WWE for years and years and years and years and years. We've established that over the course of the fucking hundreds of podcasts we've done and things over the course of the last decade. Um, but we don't just support WWE on here. We've talked positively about TNA. Well, we've done at one point we did a whole TNA podcast series. We would do that with AEW if we could get into it. And there's been many, like you say, there's different things that pull people in. There's been so many things that pull me into AEW over the years that I've then tried to watch and can't.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. And it's like I know for a fact that one of your all-time favorite wrestlers is Adam Copeland, and
Yes.
one of my favorites too. And obviously Christian Cage is
Same
also
with
one of our
Christian.
favorites. Those two are prominently featured on AEW, and I can't get into it. And they're doing really good work, but it's just there's just something. And it's the same with Jericho. Jericho was one of my all-time favorites and everything. And I gave AEW the benefit of the doubt for a while because Jericho was the inaugural champion. So I was like, all right, I'll watch this. Cody was there. CM Punk came in. Obviously, Moxley was there on the first show as well, who'd just come off the WWE run. As a WWE fan, there was lots of guys, and as a TNA fan, they looted TNA's roster just before AEW kicked up. They got like LAX, who then got rebranded
Yeah.
as Proud and Powerful, and you got
Ethan
like the
Page
Lucha
and
Bros, and
Lucha
yeah, Ethan
Bros.
Page.
Yeah.
Brian Cage went from being a TNA champion to being an afterthought on frigging Collision or AEW Dark or whatever.
Yeah.
Big Bill recently had a TNA run and it looked like he was going to be poised to get to the top of the cards. Rather wonderfully, we got to interview him as part of that as well. Well, you got to interview him as
I
part of
did.
that.
I did. I had a lovely conversation with the then W. Morrissey.
Yeah, yeah. And then he went to AEW and now he's just hanging around with Jericho and stuff. And there's lots of stuff. There's lots of reasons why I should like AEW, but I just can't. And that's not me not wanting to like it because I keep wanting to like it, and it's just a struggle. And like CM Punk coming back to wrestling, seeing his return was absolutely amazing.
It gave me goosebumps and it made me
Yeah,
slightly emotional, his AW return.
yeah.
But yeah, it just
But
it
his
wasn't
run
enough
was
to keep
lackluster, and
it wasn't enough to keep me watching. That's the problem. It's I can't sit here and give you actual reasons as to what it is that doesn't pull me in. I don't think it helps that obviously the bits of AEW I see for like weekly television are like random clips when I'm scrolling TikTok because,
Yeah.
you know, big surprise, my For You page is very wrestling heavy. And I swear to God, like nearly, I want to say about 75% might not even be a high enough number, but I'll say about 75% of AEW clips I see that are like promos are just people saying shit about dead dads. And I don't even just mean like the Christian people. It's just
It's
like
just all over the place. Yeah, yeah,
all over the place. It's just, yeah, I don't know. I feel like they've not got the writers needed.
yeah,
It kind of feels late WCW inmates running the asylum when it comes to
yeah,
the promos. And I think that's my issue is that it's a WWE alternative. Maybe I'm too used to the WWE style. Maybe that's exactly what the problem is. But no, it's not for me. If you guys enjoyed Full Gear, that's your prerogative. There's so much wrestling out
yeah,
so
yeah.
much wrestling is out there for everybody, and we can't all like the same thing. Um, but also I
And
feel like this weird tribalism of you either like this company or this
yeah,
company.
and but
Like,
I'd like to point out that we've been hypercritical of WWE over the years as well.
oh,
It's
absolutely.
not
We
like
just
we
yeah,
don't play
no.
favorites as such. If we can't get into WWE, we can't get into it. I mean, one
A
point
few
we
years,
tried to
yeah,
launch.
I was
Yeah,
about to say a few years ago, we decided to go all in. No pun
we were in
intended.
talks with WWE Press as well.
Yeah, we were in talks with the Press. We were gonna go all in and do weekly shows of reviewing Raw, SmackDown, NXT, pay-per-views, breaking news, like just covering every bit of WWE
Yeah.
content we could. We did one episode, and that episode was reviewing a Hell in the Cell show.
No, we were hyping it up, and we were talking
Hyping
about
it
me,
up,
you, and
sorry,
Danny
yeah.
were talking about how great it was going to be, and we were really looking forward to it. And our follow up, our second episode was going to be the fucking reviewing it, and we couldn't do it.
because it because it fucking sucked. It was
Like, yeah,
awful, and
it
I
killed
was
the
like,
whole
yeah,
fucking thing that we
yeah,
were
because we
doing.
were just like, we can't like we're not going to chill. Like we had an entire conversation with WWE of them saying,
Yeah, we were too negative on their
you
product
got
to get
yeah.
press. So,
We can't keep giving you guys press because you're being too negative. To which our response was, "We'll make your shows better and it won't be negative."
yeah, yeah,
And that hurt us to say that to
absolutely.
WWE.
And
But the
it's like
fact,
we have press with AEW, but we've done nothing with it.
yeah, that's what I mean.
And
It
I,
hurt us to say that with WWE, but the fact is their product wasn't enjoyable for us, so we weren't going to
yeah,
put the fake smiles on and carry on this podcast pretending we were loving what we were watching when we didn't. I'm pretty sure not too long after that, maybe between then and a few weeks after that and Rumble season, I didn't even watch anything.
no, no,
I think I there was I kept up to date. I'd check results after a pay-per-view or something, but
yeah,
I didn't sit there and watch it because it just got to that point of unenjoyableness.
yeah.
So if I do that with the company I've watched since I was 2 years old, I'm not
Yeah,
gonna sit myself through AEW when it's a new company and I don't care about their
yeah.
characters.
Although I will tell you, I will tell you as in the listeners about one thing with AEW that I am currently enjoying, and I have been watching the clips of this one particular storyline, and that is the Hurt Syndicate and Swerve stuff. I have actually been enjoying what I've seen of that. I love that Shelton Benjamin got a proper
I was gonna
offensive
say
main event
I've
match.
seen clips of Shelton actually getting like
Yeah,
allowed to do what he can do, and that's amazing. Like
yeah,
before it was we put just it when he was Shelton X Benjamin in ROH and stuff. He
yeah,
was the main event, and that's nice to see. But I'll be honest, I
yeah.
don't
Beyond
want
this,
I don't want to see a third iteration of the Hurt Business, the Hurt Syndicate, the Beatdown Clan, whatever the fuck you
no, I
want
know.
to
Yeah,
call it.
yeah.
I
It was
don't.
BDC and TNA,
That's what
wasn't it?
I
And then it was
mean.
Hurt.
This is
Yeah.
the third company where we've got this.
Where we got Lashley and MVP teamed up. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It was Kenny King and obviously
Was
BDC.
Samoa Joe with him at one point as well, and
I
different
think
episodes
in
as
I don't
part of
think
that weird thing they were doing in
was
TNA.
possibly fuck knows at that point.
Yeah,
With all
it
due
was.
respect to TNA, that whole section was that period of time was a fever dream.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and
Well, we're
obviously
going
we
back
got
10 years, and by memory, so
that's why I
that's
mean we
yeah,
got her business in WWE with Cedric Alexander in there as well. I based on what I've seen, Leo Rush is probably going to join.
probably. But it's so far, the bits I've seen have been really enjoyable, but they feel different, and they feel like one of the things that I've heard rumored is that MVP is writing that part because he was a writer for WWE and was a producer for stuff, and apparently he's working on the segments that he's involved with, and that shows. It shows that it's not the person that's working on the rest of the show.
Yeah,
It shows
there's
that someone different is doing that, and you can tell because the segments that they've been involved with have that qualityness about them. Like someone's actually like instead of just rushing something put together or whatever, it's good. Anyway, we've gone massively off topic for what was essentially a throwaway joke about Full Gear, and wasted half our podcast. So WrestleMania 41. Now, the reason that I wanted to bring this up as a subject is that we've been hammering the YouTube Shorts recently, and we've seen a massive spike in views, as we mentioned on the last episode. And one of the ones that got a lot of traction was how we
Omos.
Omos, yeah, there was the Omos, got good traction, but also the Gunther Goldberg thing that we talked about.
Yes.
That's got loads of views on there, which is great. So yeah, I think we may as well talk about how we would build up to WrestleMania with certain people, and also since we've done that episode and also since we talked about John Cena going after Gunther, have you seen that now John Cena versus Gunther is one of the main rumored matches for WrestleMania?
This just firms my belief that WWE watches what we do and just don't want to pay us.
I mean, we are still on, as mentioned earlier, we are on the press radar, and I think
Yeah, yeah.
that one other listener on Spotify is probably the WWE press guy.
Oh, I think it is. I think I think it's a Spotify duo account. It's going to be linked to Paul and Stephanie Levesque
Yes. And if ever they want to join us, they're more than welcome to for an episode. We would happily welcome them on. But
for a small fee.
yeah, obviously.
A job,
Um
basically.
yeah. We'd want a job. So anyway, that Cena versus Gunther, we mentioned that on a previous podcast. We booked how we said how we'd like to do it. We said we'd like to see Goldberg versus Gunther at Chamber and Gunther win. Cena win the Rumble. Cena versus Gunther at Mania. I'm still happy for that to be the world title picture if we're building out what we think the card's going to be. I don't know about you, but
I would, yeah.
I want to see. I know we said about Cena Orton at Mania as well as an option, but I do think Orton versus Cody is going to be what happens.
Yeah, I think if we're getting Orton v Cody, which I think we are, Cena Gunther would be cool.
And I think the other big match is more. I mean, it's got to be Rock versus Roman because it didn't happen
Yeah,
last year.
absolutely. I think so. Let's just say on a hypothetical, those three matches are nailed in, right?
Yeah. So
Randy
two world
Cody,
titles
Gunther,
we can ignore,
yeah,
and yeah,
Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes is nailed on. Gunther,
yeah,
John Cena, let's say is nailed on, and Roman, Rock, let's say that's nailed on too.
yeah,
So let's go from there. What I'd like to see for me, I want to see uh hair versus mask / career,
yes,
Dom versus Rey Mysterio. I
yeah,
think it has to happen. I think it should happen. I think Dom should win. I think Dom should win clean.
yeah,
It should be a straight up Dom just outdoes Ray, and
yeah.
that's it. Like no Liv Morgan or whoever he's latched onto at that point interfering. No Judgment Day, none of that. It's straight up. It's 1-on-1, and at the end you can have Ray taking off his mask,
And handing it to Dom. Yeah.
handing it to Dom, shaking Dom's hand, going to walk away, and Dom pulls him back and just fucking twats him because he's still a heel.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's mad. I remember us doing a podcast years ago saying that we hoped that Dom would turn on Ray. We hoped that he was going to turn on Ray at SummerSlam. It didn't happen at the pay-per-view we were previewing, but it did the following one, didn't it? Because it was
Yeah,
during the Judgment
Clash.
Day Edge and Ray thing, and
Yeah,
we were
yeah,
like
it
hoping that
happened
that
at
was going to happen.
happened at Clash at the Castle, the first one.
Yeah, and so like the previous we were previewing the pay-per-view previous to it, and we're like, yeah, we want to see Dom turn, because at that point we were saying his character was bland.
Yes.
He's there. He's just Ray's son.
Yes.
He's not got a personality. He's not doing any of that. Him turning on Ray has been the best thing for him because now his character is probably one of the best ones on Raw.
Oh, without a doubt, I absolutely, honestly, and unironically say one of my favorite wrestlers on TV right now, and has been
It's Dom.
for a while, is
Yeah,
Dom. I
yeah,
genuinely
yeah.
think it's great. If I could
And
book it, and not just a whole I'm booking my favorite, I would. I think I said this last week or the week before. I would book Dom to win the world title,
absolutely,
dirtily, and just not every single fucking defense he has. He cheats. He goes full
I
Eddie
give him the
style.
Money in the Bank.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd absolutely give him Money in the Bank this year.
Absolutely.
I'm going to happily predict it now. I think that out of everyone on the roster, he should absolutely win Money in the Bank this year.
He should, and he should successfully
Well,
cash in.
2025 even.
Yeah, yeah. He should successfully cash in because WWE has a history of giving it to the slimy heel and then them not successfully cashing in.
Yeah, like Baron Corbin.
Yeah, like it should be that he cashes in. That's how he wins it. You know, someone's beaten down. That's how he wins that title. Him cashing in on Cena would be
Yeah.
the biggest heel fucking forget X-Pac heat. That wouldn't exist anymore. Like that would be incredible. Dirty Dominic Mysterio ends Cena's 17th world title in his retirement tour.
Yeah, that'd be
Perfection.
amazing.
Perfection.
It gets to be part of Cena's retirement and Ray's retirement in the same year.
Yeah, as a heel, what more do you brag?
Yeah, yeah,
What more do you brag about? Aside from
yeah,
if the streak was still a thing, there's not much else. He could don himself the new Legend Killer and then have a feud with Orton about that,
yeah,
in which he beats Orton dirtily because he's a dirty little bastard, not Christian.
yeah.
But
Yes.
like, yeah, that needs to happen.
Yeah, I'm all for it. So yeah, Dom versus Ray. Dom wins. That's what our fourth match. Tag team championship. What do you do with the tag titles?
I would
I'm gonna task you with
have
Raw.
thanks. Um, who the fuck is on Raw? Who's
What
the
a
current
night one
tags?
Ray and Dom
Judgment Day.
team up against the other two members of
Nah,
Judgment Day. Fucking do that.
nah.
Dom gets to work 2 nights in a row.
I would do. I'd do a multi-man ladder match. I think would probably be your best bet. I think I'd do. Let's just go as Judgment Day is still champs by then.
Yeah.
Uh, Judgment Day are in there. Whichever two you want, because
And even if they're not tag champs by then,
they'd be in
this
there
match.
anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, or at least Finn and JD if Calio's not part of like whatever, like
Yeah.
whatever the iteration is of Judgment Day or what's left of it. Those guys are in it. I'd have the Creed brothers in there.
Yeah.
Um, I would have R-Truth and a new tag partner in there.
Maybe he teams with an old tag partner in Kofi Kingston because of the New Day teased split.
Yes.
And we get R-Truth
But
and Kofi and Xavier
yeah.
Woods and Omos.
See, that's the thing that I think we might be getting Kofi v Xavier Woods at Mania with Big E as like
They could do
refs,
it at Mania. Yeah.
as like special ref, because he don't have to take a bump there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, let's be honest, Kofi isn't, or well, Xavier would be the heel going in. Xavier isn't gonna be able to, you know, 1, 2 kick out pushes the ref over. That's not gonna happen
Yeah.
to Big E. So I feel like if they're gonna split up the New Day, you have to have Big E involved in some non-wrestling capacity. That's
Yeah.
like on screen and major, and I think that would be the way to do it. So I'd have Judgment Day, Creed Brothers, R-Truth, and somebody. Maybe he's back together with Miz by then, but I can't see Miz being face again. Maybe Road Dogg comes out and we get a little reunion of
What
R-Truth
about
and
Miz
Road
and
Dogg.
Karrion Cross? We'll just put Miz and Karrion Cross together as a team because they've been doing this stuff against the Wyatts.
Is that Raw?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Well, that thing. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I wouldn't do that. I'd have AOP in there,
Yeah.
and I'd have two members of the White Six
Yeah.
because I
Maybe
think
have Karrion versus Bo as well.
yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Karrion versus Bo. Maybe have the Miz and Scarlett and
Custody
at
of Miz
ringside.
ladder match.
Yeah, Miz and Scarlett at ringside, and for the Wyatt and for both side he has Nikki
Sister
Cross and
Abigail
Rowan.
and
Yeah.
yeah.
You put Rowan there because I don't think Rowan would go in a tag team because of how much he was linked with Brody.
Yeah.
So I think Joe
Loomis
Gacy and Dexter
and
Loomis.
Gacy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Because I
and
think,
they're the ones that would need that out of all of them.
yeah, because I think by then that we're gonna have the White Six as a wrestling stable rather than the Spooky Boos that
Yeah,
just
because
appear
they're
and
building to that, aren't they?
yeah.
To
So I think by then you'll have the actual um layout of the wrestling group that will
yeah.
actually wrestle more frequently. Um, yeah, I think I'd do that.
Okay, well, for the SmackDown side of things, I'm going to keep it really, really easy. The Tongans versus the Usos. They can stretch it out to Mania for it to be a
Yes.
2-on-2 thing. Gorillas of Destiny, or
Yeah.
now Tama and Tonga versus Jimmy and Jay. I know that's so. I can see, like, for the benefit
Yeah,
of people
because
listening, Connor's chuckling because I said Tama and Tonga, which because Tama Tonga's name is Tama Tonga, it
yeah,
sounds
and,
like
and
I'm
it's
getting it
Tonga
wrong, but
lower.
it's not.
No, but that's
It's
the way you've
Tama
got to say it
Tonga and Tonga lower.
you can't say Tonga and lower or Tama and lower because it doesn't sound right. So it has to
No, it
be
never
Tama and
does.
Tonga, unless you
Yeah,
just say the Tongans. But
yeah,
then
yeah.
by that, the thing is, with that, it's like by then, who's like
With
Hikaleo?
like fucking 80 of them on the roster.
Yeah, so I mean,
We're
it's
hearing it
it's
every week. Oh,
Hikaleo in there,
Hikaléo's signed,
is Zilla
and
Fatu in there, yeah.
yeah,
Is Tangaloa's brother is reportedly
there was.
getting tryouts. Is
I
there
was
that?
about to say there's the performance center picture that's got Tagaloa's younger brother
Yeah,
on there. Yeah,
that's what I
by
mean. So
WrestleMania, he could be on the main roster in
are we
some
getting a
capacity.
brand split of Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and fucking Isle of Tonga
I love
wrestling? Like,
relevancy like
yeah, literally,
that.
like, what's going on? Um,
But yeah, I think
yeah,
Tongans versus Uso
yeah,
is a
absolutely,
no-brainer for Mania.
absolutely. I think I wouldn't be surprised based on what we're seeing on TV right now
Yeah,
if we get another iteration of Sammy versus Kevin.
yeah,
Because I think Kevin is spiraling, and if he
yeah.
keeps spiraling, Sammy will inject himself, being like, "Dude, you need to stop this. You need to
The
step out of
whole
that," like Kevin did when Sammy was in the Bloodline.
Yeah, and the whole
Uh,
Kevin Owens storyline right now is he's turned on Cody. He says Cody's turned on him because Cody teamed with Roman, and
yeah,
Turned on him because he calmed Owens down, tried to calm Owens down against Cody. The logic
yeah,
is that the Samoans bullied the fuck out of him for years, and they did. So he's still right logically. That's the best thing about this Kevin Owens storyline. You can
yes,
absolutely see where he's coming from. That's the shit I
oh,
want in
100%.
wrestling. Layered shit where it actually makes sense. Like, yeah, he's a bad guy, but he's not actually a bad guy. You think he is because he's doing this shit thing to him, but in his mind, he's the good guy because Cody is teamed with his worst enemy, the guy who fucking. Let's not forget, Roman Reigns handcuffed him to a fucking to a ring rope at the end of a main event of the Royal Rumble, beat the ever loving shit out of him with anything he could, like, get his hands on. Got Kevin Owens' best friend to kick him in the head at War Games, all sorts of
Hmm.
stuff like that. The amount of shit, and let's not. There's also the previous Royal Rumble where we got Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns in that last man standing match that Kevin Owens had won at one point, but Paul Heyman intervened, and fucking Roman Reigns hit him with a car in that. Like
Yeah,
that. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah,
It's not like Roman was just having a standard match, because if it was just the thing of, oh yeah, he's lost to that guy a few times and so therefore he wants to, it wouldn't make that much sense. But Roman just fucking mercilessly kicked the living shit out of him, didn't he?
oh,
Repeatedly.
without a doubt, yeah,
So, and now that Sammy has gone back into the bloodline, yeah, I can
yeah,
absolutely see him snapping at Sammy. I think that'll happen sooner rather than later, but they'll be kept apart because of the brand split. Because Kevin's
yeah.
SmackDown, Sammy's Raw. I think there'll be a moment in the Rumble where
Yes, I
where it
wouldn't
looks
be.
like they're going to
Yeah,
help, and Kevin Owens just beats the fuck out of him at the Rumble in the Rumble match. I think that's how
yeah.
they'll
I
start it.
think the best way for that would be Kevin snaps on Sammy in the Rumble, eliminates
Yeah,
Sammy, eliminates himself to keep beating the fuck out of Sammy. We
yeah,
get like multiple power bombs on the apron, like in NXT. Sammy is out until like 3, 4 weeks before Mania.
yeah,
Kevin's beating someone else down in whatever show, and then the music hits, massive brawl, big security separation,
yeah,
promos back and forth. You can have Kevin doing what he's doing now, where it's via video that
yeah,
he's sending videos in, and then we get the final confrontation a week or two before Mania. Then that's penciled in. Boom, absolute cinema.
yeah. I
Uh,
also think we're getting, like you suggested this the other week, and I'm gonna. I think we should put this on there. Bianca versus Jade.
100%.
You said about that the other week. You made some good points. We don't need to go over it now. If anyone wants to listen,
No.
check out our previous episodes.
Yeah, hell yeah, that's chill. I think a multi-woman ladder match for the US.
Yeah.
I think if we're not, because right now there's still no rumblings of a women's intercontinental at the time of recording.
Hmm.
So if we're just getting one, and maybe the US is going to be cross-brand.
Maybe US is Bianca versus Jade.
I don't want a title around that.
No, I don't think it needs a title. I think that just needs to be they've lost
I
the
don't
women's
want a
tag
title.
titles. They're
They
blaming each other.
Jade,
They're falling out, and that's it.
not even blaming each other. Just have Jade turn. She's a great heel. Like, let's
Yeah,
have that happen. Women's US, I think multi-woman ladder match. Because they can crown the first champion. The first champion can hold it for a few months, and then we get another champion at Mania, or maybe even the same champion to get a bit more legacy on there. I think have some big names in there.
yeah,
Have some surprise names in there, not like like random legends, but names that do like they used to do for the Mania Money in the Banks, where people had to qualify.
yeah,
Yeah, do that and have some people have like a Maxine Dupree randomly in there because she wins via roll up
yeah,
or something like that. Have Bianca loses to Maxine because of a Jade interference, and that's how
yeah,
Maxine
yeah,
gets in. So then, because then we could get the Zack Ryder moment,
yeah.
but
Absolutely.
just don't have Maxine actually win it.
Yeah.
But I think that needs to be done.
And the women's tag titles, I think the easiest prediction for that, because
Scrap.
I think by then, Liv's probably going to drop the world title back to Rhea, and they'll go for a different chat because that feud's been being dragged on. The feud works, but it's been being dragged out because of injuries and things like that. I think we'll get the Rhea and Liv match, maybe at the Rumble to end that feud. Because of all the stipulations they've had already, I don't think there's a lot more they can do with each other. So I think Rhea
My
will have
only
taken
thing
the
with
world
that
title back.
is Rhea v Liv at say the Rumble.
Yeah,
Whoever walks out of that right is irrelevant. Whoever's champion, which one of them don't matter.
yeah.
Who who do
Because
they face at Mania?
I was going to say I'd put Liv and Raquel going after the tag team titles,
Yeah,
and I'd put the tag
Liv
titles
and
back on them.
Liv and Raquel versus Damage Control, and
Yeah,
maybe versus
Kabuki Warriors get put in there as well, four corner match, and
well, no, because Kabuki Warriors are Damage Control, aren't they?
yeah, but you have them split up. So you have Io
Nah,
and Dakota, and then Asuka
nah.
and Kyrie.
What's
And Bailey brings back Bailey and Naomi team up.
I won't put Bailey in there.
No.
What's the what's the Shayna Baszler one? It's like Pretty Mean
Yeah,
Sisters
put them in.
2.0.
Yeah.
Yeah, them.
Shayna and Zoe Stark. Because to be fair, I like that combo. I like both Shayna and Zoe Stark, to be fair.
I'd probably put Zoe Starks and Sonya Deville in there because I think I'd put Shayna in the women's US ladder match.
Yeah. Okay. And give it her.
Um, yeah, absolutely. The fact Shayna hasn't held a title on the main roster is absolutely fucking
Well,
criminal.
she's just had the tag titles with. Oh, she had the tag titles with Nia, and they never had the blow off match because of injuries and fires and stuff.
I mean,
Shayna wins the women's rumble and goes after Nia. Done.
I would absolutely be all for that.
Let's do that.
Yeah,
That's the
let's
women.
do
That's
that.
so we've got Rhea defending the world title against Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch comes back
Yeah,
from
that'd
Mania.
work.
There you go. Becky and
That would
Rhea.
work. Becky,
Yeah,
Rhea, Nia,
Nia and
Shayna.
Shayna. The multi-woman ladder match, like you said. Maybe it's just a triple threat tag match, or like you
Yeah,
say, Zoe Stark and Sonya Deville.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So we got. I
I
think that's pretty much it, really. I mean, there's things
US and
like
IC.
US and IC. LA Knight needs a big opponent because LA Knight should still be champion by then.
Yes.
Um, I don't know who you'd give him unless you give him Omos.
No. Don't,
No,
no.
but I don't.
No.
I wouldn't want to see that match.
No. Stop trying to get another clip.
Omos is money, man. Like 500 plus views
Look,
for Omos.
the people love our money, and that's fine. But I think
I think both Braun and LA
maybe
Knight are
Braun.
champs going in.
Yeah, I think we're probably gonna get like Braun Sheamus, and Sheamus finally gets his IC title in Mania.
Unless Ludwig Kaiser wins the IC title before then, and Braun goes after LA Knight.
Nah, because he'd have to swap
Oh,
shows.
there we go. One who we haven't considered, either Solo or or fucking Jacob
Jacob.
Patu versus LA Knight or a triple threat.
Jacob Fatu versus LA Knight would be great.
Yeah, yeah,
But
there you go.
let's do like Jacob Fatu versus LA Knight versus Andrade,
Yeah, or
purely because otherwise it's a WrestleMania match of Jacob Fatu just murdering LA Knight.
or
And
those three and Solo in a four-way, and you have Jacob turn on Solo before that point,
possibly, yeah,
and
that'd work.
then you've got them fighting each other, but also go after that US title, and yeah,
Mm.
um,
I
Intercontinental
see.
title. Bronson
If,
Reed gets it
oh,
because they're high on him at the moment. He's
what
just had that
if
feud with Seth. He's going into War Games. Bronson Reed gets the Intercontinental title shot, I think,
what if we get a
or multi-man.
WWE version of a Monsters Ball style match?
Yeah.
And we've got Bron Breakker, Bronson Reed, and Sheamus. Yes, Sheamus in there, and they literally are just kind of like the Drew Mac. Oh, we'd also get Drew versus Wade. I think that needs to happen at
Yeah,
Mania.
that's being built. One person we've not mentioned completely is CM Punk.
Oh no, Seth Rollins.
There you go, Punk and Rollins. That happens. Yeah, we
Yeah,
haven't
that's
mentioned
that.
Rollins either. Yeah,
I
there you
think
go,
that's
done.
gonna happen. I think that's
Yeah,
gonna happen. Yeah. World titles done. Mid cards done. Women's done. Tags are done. Women's mid card done.
and we put
Uh,
loads of extra people in there, and everyone else
we
just goes
did.
in the Andre Battle Royal. There you go,
Who
done.
wins the Andre the Battle Memorial Battle Royal? And I swear to fucking God, if this motherfucker happens on SmackDown, I'm gonna lose my shit.
It
You've
will.
got a 3 hour fucking pre-show.
Yeah, I know. They just put it on the pre-show.
Put it on the
Um,
pre-show.
if it happens on SmackDown, you can have people in there that are also on at Mania anyway, because that's what they've done before.
Yeah,
So if it happens on SmackDown, you give it to Bronson or Dom. If it
yeah,
happens on SmackDown, if it happens on Mania, Ludwig Kaiser. That's his moment. That's how you know what I mean. They're trying to build him up as his own. But he's aligned with Gunther still, but Gunther's telling him to prove himself and find himself and all that stuff. This is how he does it. Wins the battle
uh,
royal. Done.
I like that, but my suggestion would be Obafemi.
Also a very good pick. Or Trick.
Nah, Oba.
If it's yeah. Okay, well that's about all we have time for. So thank you very much, Connor, for joining me for this wonderful stroll into wrestling future. Thank you to everyone watching us on YouTube. We know there's a hell of a lot of you now. We've surpassed the 1.5 thousand subscriber mark, which I'm very happy about. It's only taken us all year to get those last 10. But we've got you, and we're very happy about it. We've gone past the 400 video mark on YouTube with all this sort of all the content we've got because of this. And the views that we've been getting have been absolutely incredible in comparison to previous podcasts. This is probably the best run we've been having on this show so far. I'm very, very happy with that. Thank you everyone for watching on there, and thank you to all five of you that are listening to us on Spotify as well, because that helps too.
Thanks, Triple H.
See you guys next week.